Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles, where today, in this Tier 7 domination battle here on the Haven map, the walking spreadsheet of the North American server is going to be having a rather unusual game in his Tier 7 French battleship, the Lion. I have to admit, I'm in kind of two minds about this ship. I mean, on the one hand, unusually for the French, it is but ugly. It's like it's got no chin. I mean, if you ever see a picture of somebody who basically has no chin, where their mouth kind of disappears into their neck, that's what the Lion looks like. It's a chinless wonder. There's so little of the ship forward of the bridge, there's only space there for one gun turret, and yet it does have a lot of gun turrets. 4 turrets spread out along the length of the ship, each with 4 340mm high-velocity guns. I mean, that's a lot of guns. This ship slings a lot of lead downrange when it fires. The guns, however, are not the most accurate in the game. But again, that's okay, because this ship puts a lot of lead downrange when it fires. We're not talking Gneisenau levels of horrible accuracy, of course. I mean, they're not that bad, but they're certainly not the most accurate battleship guns at Tier 7. Then again, when you're putting this much lead downrange, your guns don't have to be that accurate, and that's one of the reasons why the Gneisenau is so terrible. Jingles, we're really starting to get sick of your shit. Protest all of the Gneisenau lovers, yes, both of them. The Gneisenau has bigger guns, 380mm versus the Lyon's 340mm, and they have a faster reload, 26 versus the Lyon's 30 seconds, and yes, that is true. But in practical terms, all that means is that the Gneisenau misses more often than the Lion does. Plus, it still only has 6 guns. The Lion has 16. It's absurd. The number of guns that the Lion has is not, however, going to be a huge deciding factor in the outcome of this battle. Oh, and just to be completely fair, I should also point out that the Lion's turret rotation speed is diabolically bad. 3.5 degrees per second. It is excruciatingly slow. It takes you nearly the better part of an entire minute to get these guns rotated 180 degrees. Oh, the team have just suffered their first casualty. The friendly Nicholas managed to get himself gunned down, charging a cap right at the start of the battle. I mean, there's no carrier to spot him, there's no radar either, but it's still not a great idea to charge a cap that's being contested by, I think, 7 enemy ships. Don't worry, he's not the only ship on the team who thinks that's a good idea. The casualties are going to start mounting up thick and fast very, very soon. But back to the turret rotation speed of the Lion. Like I said, excruciatingly slow, takes you the better part of an entire minute to rotate these guns 180 degrees, which means that if you are manoeuvring in the Lion, it's both very difficult to keep the guns trained on the same target. Oh, and there goes the second casualty. The Vauquelin decided that anything the Nicholas can do, he can do better. I was fully expecting the single remaining destroyer to be the next one to throw his hat into the ring for the title of 3rd worst player on the team, but the friendly Nürnberg has got that one covered. Yeah, the one who's getting rushed by a Gneisenau, yeah. There he goes, congratulations. You win 3rd place. Looked like a very risky move there from the Gneisenau, but have a look at the map. There's really nothing there that can challenge him. The 3rd and final destroyer on the team. There he goes. I didn't even get to give him an intro. He's dead already. So the team now have no destroyers. The only cap circle they have is the one they started with. The enemy team have taken 2, and they're already flipping a 3rd. The team are down to 111 points. They are 300 points behind already. And if you're thinking to yourself, surely they're going to start fighting back now, how can things possibly get any worse? Yeah. It's going to be the Emerald, isn't it? Yeah, it's definitely going to be the Emerald. They're about to lose another cruiser. What kind of points is that going to put them on? I mean, the Emerald is just... Yeah, there's no point in using your hydro after the torpedoes have gone by, Sunshine. There we go. The team are down to 77 points, with the enemy team controlling or contesting, now controlling, 3 of the 4 cap circles. 5 ships down. Nearly half of the team are dead. And they have yet to score a single kill. Oh, and they've got no destroyers, and only 2 cruisers left, so good luck retaking the 3 of the 4 cap circles that the enemy currently control. It is here, however, where the fight back begins, and it's going to be led by the Arizona on the other side of the map, who's going to score the team's first kill by blatting one of the enemy destroyers. I believe it's going to be the Hatsuharu. Actually, a quick look at the minimap and just look at the Hatsuharu's position. You know, I do believe that the team know you're there, Sunshine. Yep, there he goes. The team are back above 100 points. They're in triple figures. Hooray! But any celebrations are short-lived, of course, because the Koenig was so keen to be the one to get the kill, and he didn't, the Arizona did, that he ran straight into the Hatsuharu's torpedoes, fired blind around the corner. The team were back down to 75 points. Walking spreadsheet, doing his best to do, well, pretty much anything. Mayhan torpedo spotted, thanks to the York's hydro, by the way. At least one of the cruisers on the team is capable of thinking and breathing at the same time, and judging by the speed of those torpedoes, i.e. they are slow-assed torpedoes, those are probably the Mayhan's long-range torpedoes, essentially the Benson's stock torpedoes, so they probably have the range to reach him. The Mayhan's being really annoying, of course, with the fires that he's setting. But the torpedoes are the bigger threat. Thanks to the York's hydro, Walking Spreadsheet is going to have no problem avoiding these. He is, however, going to have a problem getting his guns turned around again. While this is all going on, can I just draw your attention to probably the one thing here that the enemy team is doing that is the most wrong? Have a look at where the friendly Sinop is, all the way down there to the southwest. I mean, the Sinop isn't exactly covering himself in glory here either. I don't know why he's still attacking, because what he's attacking is basically more than half of the enemy team. There are like 7 ships down there, all competing against each other to be the one to kill him. And that level of target fixation and tunnel vision is going to be a real problem for these guys here. Starting with a Königsberg here, who takes raking fire that nearly sinks him from these 340mm guns, because those guys are now charging forward, apparently completely oblivious of the fact that they're doing it almost completely unsupported, as the majority of their team chase a single Tier 7 battleship into the map border. I mean, it may have seemed like a good idea at the time, because they do have a 5 kill and more than 500 point lead, and that 500 point lead is getting bigger with each passing second because they control 3 of the cap circles, but trust me, not a good idea. They're all now sailing into a crossfire. And that York over there is the rock star of the moment. He just managed to torpedo and sink the Geyser now, and got away with it almost scot-free. I didn't actually see him taking much or any damage there at all whatsoever. Ducked back in behind the island, completely safe from all of those torpedoes. As Walking Spreadsheet delivers an epic paddling with these 340mm guns to the enemy October Revolution over there on the other side of the map. And it's at about this point where those enemy ships in the middle are starting to think, guys, a little support here perhaps? Actually, no, screw this shit, we're out. Which allows Walking Spreadsheet to capitalise, thanks to the York spotting, and getting his first kill of the game on the enemy Königsberg. Wow, look at that, they're now only 450 points behind. The friendly Le Galissoniere manages to finish off the October Revolution with his torpedoes, but it's at this point where the Sinop goes down. However, the Sinop has kind of done his job, because he's basically distracted half of the enemy team into pointlessly chasing them into the map border, and now these guys are, well, kind of too far away to really do anything. Oh, another epic paddling, this time against the Takachi, as the York has maybe miscalculated. He did he took a paddling in return from the Takachi's guns. The Takachi's going to have to manoeuvre hard to avoid the York's torpedoes, but the York was already safe from the Takachi's torpedoes. And of course, as the Takachi is manoeuvring and thinking, nope, I'm getting out of here, Walking Spreadsheet's guns are already reloaded, and boom, headshot, kill number 2. They're still more than 400 points behind, of course, so, you know, let's not get too excited. There are only 4 of them left against 7 enemies. But on the bright side, they are finally contesting and trying to flip Cap Circle Charlie, although they do keep getting reset. But if they can at least contest it, which they are doing, it'll stop the enemy team from gaining any points from it. They still have and a cap advantage with one more under their control than Walking Spreadsheet's team, and they are continuing to lose ships. The Derflinger just went down. That Mayhan over there is proving to be a consistent thorn in everybody's side, but then the Arizona finishes him off as well. They're still nearly 550 points behind, and there are now only 3 of them left, outnumbered precisely 2-1 by the 6 surviving enemy ships. And it's here where the York really bites off a little bit more than he can chew. Walking Spreadsheets pinging him like, York, you might want to get back, because all of those guys that went down there to chase down the Sinop now have nothing better to do than shoot at the York. Oh, and of course the Derflinger was the one who was flipping the cap at Charlie, and with him dead thanks to the Mayhan, that cap circle is now once again firmly under the enemy's control. The York, however, has managed to nail the last enemy destroyer, although I don't think he's going to survive the consequences of that encounter. He's almost certainly dead, which will just leave Walking Spreadsheet in the Leon and the Arizona up to the northeast, and sure enough, the York is down. So it's the 2 of them against 5 enemies. They are 600 points behind, and they only have 1 cap circle between the 2 of them. The Arizona, however, proven that he is at least capable of thinking and breathing at the same time, as if that wasn't already obvious with the kills that he scored, is slipping into that cap circle at Charlie, obviously hoping to flip it, but at the very least contesting it will stop the enemy team from getting the points. Now remember, the enemy team have a nearly 3-1 ship advantage. So if they have any sense, they really should be using that 3-1 nearly ship advantage. Or if they're capable of rubbing more than 2 brain cells together between the 5 of them, exploiting a 5-1 ship advantage by picking their targets and focusing their fire. So of course that's the exact opposite of what they start doing. You've got the Canarius over there who's taken on the Arizona by himself, and the Colorado back there who's taken on Walking Spreadsheet by himself. They've essentially broken this down into 2 one-on-one fights. When they have the numbers advantage, they're not using it. In fact, choosing to push forward and continue attacking when you have a more than 600 point lead and enough points that you're probably going to win in about a minute if you just sit back and do nothing is also a pretty dumb thing to do. But right now that's actually the least of their problems, because they're not actually getting involved in 2 one-on-one fights. The Colorado's gone undetected, which means that the Canarius now finds himself outnumbered 2-1 in the only show in town. He's now fighting alone against Walking Spreadsheet's Leon and the Arizona. And the Arizona may be only tier 6, and it may only have 14-inch guns, but it has 12 of them, and they're pretty accurate for a tier 6 battleship. So with the enemy team at 931 points, still no sign of the Colorado, and the Arizona are about to reload with the enemy team at 935 points, and the Canarius is still shooting back instead of going undetected. Dude, you're in a cruiser. What is wrong with you? 943 points, 947 points, 951 points, boom, headshot, straight back down to 901. Arizona claims his 3rd kill, still no sign of the Colorado, and now both he and Walking Spreadsheet are flipping this cap. And here come the rest of the enemy team, a day late and $1 short, although they are still winning. They still have more caps. They still have a 2-1 numbers advantage. And if they would just sit on their asses, hide behind islands and do nothing for a minute, they would win on points. Of course, doing nothing is often the hardest possible thing that you can do. Having said that, they're still going to win on points, unless Walking Spreadsheet or the Arizona can find something to kill. With 2 caps under their control, they're already back up to nearly 950 points. This match is over in a minute, unless we can find something to shoot at. Well, okay, there's the Andrea Doria, but it's got a lot of health. You're never going to sink that in time. You don't have shots at the Colorado. There's another battleship. You need something that you can kill in the next 30 seconds, or you're going to lose this battle. And it is at this precise moment When the Nuremberg says, don't worry guys, I've got this. Thanks, I'll take it. You've got to be kidding me. But even with the Nuremberg's noble sacrifice, they're still going to lose in 30 seconds unless they can find something to kill. And it's here where the Andrea Doria decides, don't worry guys, I've got this. As he comes around the corner of an island, giving a flat broadside to a ship with 16 high-velocity 340mm guns. You couldn't make this shit up. And yeah, the Arizona's sunk the Colorado. The enemy team now only have one cap circle under their possession, and now they are outnumbered 2-1 as the Arizona swings his gun batteries around and trains them on that extremely unfortunate Rio de Janeiro, who's probably thinking, how the hell did we fuck this up? And he's dead too, with the Arizona claiming the final kill of the game. Now, was that a throw of epic proportions? I mean, I think it probably was. The enemy team were about 30 seconds away from winning on points on at least 3 separate occasions, and then managed to contrive between them somehow a way to snatch defeat from the jaws of impending victory. I mean, that was pretty impressive. Congratulations to all of them. Their parents must be so proud. And non-sarcastic congratulations, of course, to the walking spreadsheet in the Lyon, and of course the Arizona. Probably not the kind of teammate we all deserve, but he's definitely the kind of teammate we all too often need. And also, I feel the York should be commended as well, because he did do well, at least until he suffered from a sudden and fatal rush of shit to the brain around about 2/3 of the way through the match. And on that bombshell, I think that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm pretty certain most of you will have been amused by it. And as always, take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.